Meanwhile, a breakthrough in the race for a vaccine. Pfizer and BioNTech announced earlier this week that their coronavirus vaccine is more than 90% effective in preventing COVID-19. The drug makers could ask the FDA to permit wide use of the vaccine as early as the end of November. And joining us right now is BioNTech's founder and CEO, Dr. Ugur Sahin. Dr. Sahin, congratulations. Thank you so much for all of your work. You and your wife, the chief medical officer of BioNTech, helped develop this Pfizer vaccine. You have to feel incredible. Thank you for all of your work. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning. It's a pleasure to join this morning.
Tell me about the drug and how quickly the vaccine could be produced.
So the drug is a messenger RNA vaccine. This is a special type of vaccine for which we use a type of genetic information which does not harm the human body. We transfer this information with a vaccine, with an injection into the arm, and the human body cells take up this messenger RNA and make the vaccine antigen, which is a piece of the virus protein, which is not infected, so that the immune system can be trained. So we are mimicking an infection so that the immune system can get trained and thereby is prepared to protect against infections.
So by all accounts, this was incredible speed with which you have been able to roll this out. Walk us through how significant that is. How is it possible that you were able to get this where it is today, that you're looking for approval, emergency approval, and wider use approval by the end of the month? Have you ever seen anything like this in terms of the speed with which you have been able to do this?
No, this is indeed unprecedented in the history of drug development. We started vaccine candidate development end of January, that means about 10 months ago, in Germany, by starting to evaluate more than 20 candidates. And in March, we announced our partnership with Pfizer, allowing us to further speed up. The speed was only possible by really extensive collaboration and by reducing the lag time. So essentially, everyone worked with the principle we don't have time to lose, but we did not cut corners. We went to several clinical trials. We did clinical trials in Germany. We did clinical trials in the United States. Our phase 3 clinical trial, which is executed by our colleagues from Pfizer, recruited more than 43,000 subjects so far. So doing that in an extremely coordinated fashion allowed us to be so fast.
Dr. Sahin, let me get your take on what we're seeing here in terms of reinfections and in terms of what is taking place with a potential second wave. There are questions that analysts have, such as what is the impact of the virus mutating on the disease and the vaccine efficacy? And what about reinfections? Should we be worried about reinfections and about a potential second wave? Because we're looking at the highest numbers on a daily basis here in the United States once again.
Yeah, so one of the learnings in the last months is that an infection seemed to protect against a reinfection, and most people in recent publications seem to have still a sufficient immune response even after 6 months after infection, which is a really good message. We know that the immune responses that are induced by our vaccine are even stronger than the immune response, which is in average induced in an infected person. So that means there is a good chance that the vaccine not only is protective, but could protect from infection or reinfection for a significant period of time. I personally expect that a vaccine could protect us with a prime boost protocol for at least 1 year. And if we learn that we need to re-immunize, then we could do that after 1 year. So there is now an understanding that vaccines could work.
That is extraordinary. What about the challenge of the distribution of this vaccine because it needs to be cold, right? I mean, I know that the vaccine requires cold storage, a refrigeration type mechanism. You tell me about that, and is it challenging to distribute such a vaccine that needs to be cold storage in developing countries? You've got commitments to distribute this outside of the United States as well, like in China. How does that impact distribution of the vaccine, given that it needs to be refrigerated?
So it is extremely important that we control the logistical chain. So it is one important aspect is that we are collaborating with Pfizer, and Pfizer is one of the most experienced vaccine developers with a global supply chain. Pfizer has built up a distribution logistic allowing to transport the vaccine at minus 70 degrees to any place on the planet. We are collaborating and organizing a vaccine supply with governmental organizations to ensure that the vaccine could be supplied, for example, to hospitals. And then from hospital distributed to the vaccination centers.
But it will be distributed in the United States first, Dr. Sahin? I know that you have commitments to developed countries ex-China, and the China talks are ongoing, but the United States will be first?
So the supply of the vaccine will depend on a potential approval or authorization. We are currently in communication with the FDA in the United States, with the European Medicinal Agency, with UK Health Organization, with Canadian, with Japan. And if we get an authorization, emergency use authorization, maybe by from the FDA, we would be ready to supply, and the same is true for Europe. So that means the first requirement for supply is authorization.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Dr. Ugur Sahin, thanks very much. Congratulations to you. I know the world thanks you as